Take a shot every time I say that how much I love this series. Dangerous drinking game. Alright, short sweet video. Is Dungeon Crawler Carl worth the hype from what I've seen online? Yes, 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 1,000 times yes. I forgot my headphones, so I couldn't listen to an audiobook while I was at work. I went to the bookstore, I bought this, I figured I'd just read a couple chapters during downtime. I read 200 pages. I physically couldn't stop. If I had 2 seconds to spare, I was reading this book. Oh my god, phenomenal. Crazy, action-packed, mayhem, madness, but somehow taking itself seriously, surprisingly deep depth to emotional investment of the characters, political intrigue in the periphery of the story that will become a player later. I'm obsessed. I love this. Now, I have been told about Dungeon Crawler Carl a little bit before all the hype of it blew up. Hello, Maven. If someone had told me there was a cat in Dungeon Crawler Carl, I probably would have picked it up a lot sooner, because the character of Princess Donut, who is a cat that looks nothing like Maven. She is a show cat, and the perfect depiction of a cat. So I mean, a diva, craving attention, completely psychopathic, but loving and wanting attention. Just the most perfect depiction of a cat I've ever seen in any piece of media ever. I love it. I swear, why didn't anyone tell me there was a talking cat in this? So the premise is very simple. The apocalypse will be televised. You have Carl, who is outside when the apocalypse starts. Everything on the surface of the world is crushed, destroyed. Dungeons open up. He has to go down in there and face different bosses, get leveling up things. Cats who knock things over, I'm sure. And I love everything about it. This is a lit RPG. Now, when someone told me that before, for whatever reason, my brain interpreted that as a choose-your-own-adventure story. I was wrong. It's just basically Dungeons and Dragons. You get a bunch of stat boosts. It's like you're playing a video game. I didn't think this would be my vibe. It is such an easy, entertaining, fast-paced read. Loved it. Let's talk about Carl first. He is phenomenal. We're going to stick with spoiler freeze. I'm going to go into spoiler thoughts later, but like, if you want to go in this, Carl is the type of character who will help others. He is genuinely concerned about the number of people that are dying. He's watching his planet have mass extinction as there's a counter of the number of humans left in the game, and he's just watching it tick down. He cares about people. He will help them. He feels upset when he comes across injured or killed players. But the main thing, like, he will roll with the punches. He's sarcastic-ish. He's a little jaded, a sharp-toothed tongue kind of thing to him. But he will run into this insanity. Barefoot wearing boxers with hearts on them, okay? We love Carl. We get information on his parents. There's like a backstory there that we'll definitely get more of throughout the series. He just broke up with his girlfriend. I do not know, but I'm willing to bet she's somewhere in this game. He's assuming she's dead, but like, I'm not gonna believe that. So you gotta kind of get a feel for the humor in this is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I recommend giving it at least till the second floor, so about the halfway point through the book, to get a full feel of what this is trying to do, because that's when you start to get more of the political side of things, like who's controlling this? Why is this so unfair? What's the AI's involvement? And the motivations for people controlling the game and advertising to it and stuff like that. Think Hunger Games propaganda. Like, just as an example of little things that pop up when you get stuff. So, Goblin Chopper with attached sidecar, human size contraption. Take a junkyard bicycle, add an unreliable steam engine, remove all the bolts holding it together, replace them with chewing gum, and you get the idea. The preferred assault transport of Goblin Bombards. What this contraption lacks in reliability and safety, it makes up for in absolutely nothing. This book is unhinged. There are llamas selling drugs on this corner that will attack you. Mayhem. Only mayhem. But heart and soul and like characters with deep backstories that it has no right to give the, spoiler free, it has no right to go into the depth so quickly, so easily, so naturally for the monsters that you are going to be facing in this game. I'm already bordering too much on my spoiler-free thoughts, so I'm going to go into spoilers now, but please read this book. I'm obsessed. I can't wait to start the next in the series, but I have too many. I gotta finish my reread of the Dresden Files. You can't see them. They're out of shot. And I'm still working on Stormlight. I have too many series. Spoilers. Spoilers now for Dungeon Crawlers Carl, because what the hell? This is so good. Now, where do I even start? Let's start with, let's go with the monsters. Let's go with the monsters. So, like, the first actual boss battle that we have was a human who must have died in the collapse of as everything came down around her because she was a hoarder. So her body parts has been used to create this hoarder monster that spits out cockroaches that Carl and Princess Donut have to fight. And I love it so much because she's screaming in Spanish for help, for mercy, that she doesn't want to die. And Carl's like, the manipulation, the control, they took this, whoever's in this game controlling this game took her for their own amusement. The AI is doing some kind of propaganda. On one end, it's helping Carl because it decides it likes him, because it has a bit of a foot fetish that when he crushes his enemies, is like, yeah, let's upgrade your feet. And on the other hand, it opened with showing the alien civilizations how evil and destructive and kind of madness that Earth is, showing different wars, images from Godzilla. It was depicting humans as this death world that really they're saving some people from, because this never should have been allowed to exist. I'm obsessed. We have talk about like the bankruptcy of the company that is hosting this game. And they need to get as much money out of them as quickly as they can, but they're like almost speed running the game because they don't get the money till the end, but they can't have it go too short, and they can't break so many rules, but they're breaking some of the rules to get around the laws of their alien organization for this game. And that is impacting the players, hence Carl and everyone else, and the death count that keeps racking up. It's also hilarious because you got like crazy goblin stuff going on, but then it hits you with a gut punch because Carl builds a bomb to take out the big boss goblin, and he's like, all right, Donut, are you clear? Is the boss in there? Yep, boss is there. Blow it up. And she gets out of there. She's like, oh, there was also a lot of babies in there too, so goblin babies. Baby killer. Kills them all. You want to talk about the humor of this? New achievement, you monster. You have killed an infant. An infant! Okay, unless you're a complete psychopath, which Donut probably is. We know you probably didn't wake up this morning telling yourself, today's the day I might slaughter a child. Well, let's put your mind at ease. All the children mobs who will die in this dungeon don't actually perish. They're transferred to the holding area where they're safe and treated nicely and gently until they can be reunited with their loving parents at the end of the season. Feel better? Good. Reward? The past 20 seconds when your conscience started to ease. That was your reward. It was a lie. That baby is dead. It is dead because of you. You're totally going to hell. You've also received a bronze asshole box. New achievement! War criminal! I can't even, because for, again, gut punch, terrible, but like the depth that we go into with the monsters, the goblins who just are trying to survive, because if they kill enough players, if they survive this long enough, they do this for long enough, eventually they'll be allowed to go down deeper into the levels of the dungeon where the players never reach. They can live in peace with their families. And I'm just, what? We're getting pan flips to the monsters being like, hey, here's how you can move down levels. I can't wait, because at the end, and possibly a spoiler for even people who read the first book, I'm not really sure, because it says book 1 bonus material backstage at the Pineapple Cabaret. I'm just like, I won't even go into details on that. One of the goblins becomes a main character, and she had been given a name by Princess Donut. And that changes her whole identity, because in the game, the monsters and mob bosses and everything like that are just given numbers. It crushes their identity, and now that she has more of an identity, she's going to take an active role and gets into the game further beneath the surface, behind the curtain kind of thing. And I can't wait to see what they do with the monsters in this game. There's a throwaway line about essentially PETA, like mob rights, creature organization rights. I'm just like, what are we going to do with them? I am so also excited to learn more about Mordecai, the guides leader. So he's the one who gave them the tutorial for what it means to the game and how to get through the dungeon and power ups and stuff like that. He gave them the tutorial introduction how you play this game. But we learned that he was a player and that his brother was also a player. I'm pretty sure his brother has died. We get very clearly like Mordecai's an alcoholic trying to drown his sorrows. This is going to be his last game. If Carl makes it so far. We also learn he has a backstory with his previous guild master, person in charge, one who was helping him with the tutorial stuff, who is now a game show host that talks to Carl and gives him more advice. I love this. I love it so much. Each backstory of characters, side characters, who could just be throwaway tropey characters, I'm so invested in who they are, what they're going to become. You have what's Maggie and Frank? Is it Frank? I don't really care. Two mercenaries, essentially, who killed players in the dungeon. We learn that they killed their own child. Don't know why. The mother is just like, you don't know the story. You don't know what led up to that thing. And Carl's just like, I don't care. You murdered your child. But Frank, who had been a full-on sociopath, ready to kill Carl in no hesitation, all of a sudden, he's like this dreaded look to him. Like he's aged rapidly. There's something, he's gone through something. We don't know what. Death of his child, probably. However, we learned that their guild master was telling them to survive, you have to kill players. So they were set up to be the victims because this game is not fair. It's reality TV. They're there for entertainment. If the game likes you, it'll give you power-ups. If the game wants you to be this type of player for entertainment, it's going to force you down that path. I love this. I love this so much. I didn't think I would like the social media aspect of it, because Donut is obsessed with the number of followers and viewers and stuff like that. But somehow it just works flawlessly into this game. Speaking of Donut, I'm also convinced that there's something that, because the only reason Carl survived was that he ran out after Donut when she escaped the apartment building. So if he hadn't gone out to try to get her, he would have been flattened and killed. And what could she possibly have sensed that it was about to happen, I'm assuming. But Princess Donut is also convinced that her previous owner, Bree, something like that, don't know. The ex-girlfriend of Carl is still alive. She's working under that impression they're going to meet up somewhere. But Carl thinks she's dead. I think she's alive, and they're going to find her in the dungeon somewhere. And Princess Donut is going to be torn between who to trust, who to go with. But she was willing to sell her cat, because she's a show cat, hence the personality that she has. But she wanted to sell her off and get a younger one, and Carl, who didn't even like cats that much, she threw up on his pillow all the time, was willing to kidnap this cat, and knowing her, I think, lawyer father would have came after him. I love Carl. I love Princess Donut. She renamed the party the something of Princess Donut, and Carl's her bodyguard because she's the most powerful player. But I love her because she's so obsessed with herself. I can't use my nails. That's barbaric. Oh, Carl's about to die. I'm going to claw your eyes out. Sacrificing herself and then taking a healing potion, going to be fine. But totally playing it off like she's about to die. I love everything about this book. There's no easy stop point. I had to binge this in like 1/2 days. Back to other elements, because like the AI is also listening in. So if you say like the name of the company, it's going to target in on you to make sure you're not saying anything bad about it. And they can only really talk freely when some higher up level is there, because then they're not being recorded. And he's trying to get this information on the game, the outer workings of it, how it's played, the systems, the bureaucracy. I love it. Take a shot every time I say that how much I love this series. Dangerous drinking game. What I think I'm most interested in, too, is going to be Agatha. So she has been edited out of the game. She had, like, a communication device. She's the reason that a bunch of elderly people survived as long as she did. Got them outside, pulled a fire alarm, whatever. And she is being edited out of footage. So someone in charge knows she's there and is helping her, maybe, manipulating events, trying to get her through. And she's acting like a homeless person who's kind of lost her marbles a little bit, but really she's all there, she's ready, she's going down the different levels. Like there's some outer workings that's trying to stop the game, it has infiltrated the game. We're gonna go with that. I love it. I'm so excited to see what Agnes has planned. I want to know if the elderly people that they got to level 3, when you can change your race and class, are going to be able to become something that will allow them to live out the rest of their lives in peace, survive the dungeon, because right now they don't really know what's going on. Sometimes it got them in a lot of trouble, but that led to a lot of explosions. Also fine. But the best part, what was his name? Mongo? Something like that. A velociraptor. They get a pet velociraptor that bites Donut on the nose all the time, and they had to bond with him in order to be a pet, to take him with them to the next level, or else he would have been destroyed. But he's introduced as this ugly pink, almost featherless chicken. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. You gave me a velociraptor. Of course I went and bought the next book immediately. I'm having such a fun time. Such a fun time. This review has been chaotic as hell. And that I feel that matches the vibe of the book. I love this. I love this so much. That is all I got. Do not turn this into a drinking game. I will talk to you later.